Hello viewers, welcome to another edition of Brain Maths. We are going to be looking at quadratic equation, and before we start anything on quadratic equation, it is necessary that we know what a quadratic equation is. In our previous lessons, we have looked at linear equations. Linear equation, like we defined, is an equation that has variables with the highest power of 1. All these equations I'm writing on the board are linear equations, but if you look at the variables given to us, the highest power in each one of them is 1. And the solution they have depends on the number of equations given to us. But when you're talking of quadratic equations are equations with the highest power of 2, and this general form of any quadratic equation is usually ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, where a is the coefficient of x squared and b is the coefficient of x, and c is a constant. So if you look at this equation now, you will see that the variable x is having a power of 2 and also a power of 1. So if you are given any equation in this format, this is regarded as a quadratic equation. Now we want to look at a way to derive quadratic equations with known roots. Before solving and getting solution on quadratic equation, how do we formulate quadratic equations? So let's try to see how we can form quadratic equations when we are given known roots. That is the roots that are known to us. Let's say we have x equals 3 and minus 2 as the values of a quadratic equation, as the roots rather of a quadratic equation. For us to get the quadratic equation that has these two roots, then we have to follow these steps I'll be taking. So the first is to say equate both 3 and minus 2 to x. X equals to 3 or x equals minus 2. Then equate what we have here to 0. So we can bring the 3 inside. The positive 3 will become negative equals 0, or bring the negative 2 inside. It becomes positive 2, and that is equals 0 as well. So the next thing is to combine the two of them together since they are both equal to 0. So we can say x minus 3 and x plus 2 are both equals to 0. Now, if you look at what we have here, we have two brackets and we need to open this bracket. So for you to open the bracket, it means you have to multiply everything in the second bracket with each of these in the first bracket. We are going to use x to multiply x plus 2, and as well we use minus 3 to multiply x plus 2. So we say first and first, first and last, and then last and first, also last and last. So let's start with first and first. X times x is going to give us x squared. X times plus 2, that is going to be plus 2x, minus 3 times x. Don't forget to multiply with the sign in front of each figure or variable. So minus 3 times x will give us minus 3x, and minus 3 times plus 2. So let's treat the signs firstly. Minus times plus, minus 3 times 2, 6 equals to 0. Now we are having x squared and we are having 2x and minus 3x. So in this case, we collect like times. The like times we are bringing together here are the x with power of 1. So we say x squared plus 2x minus 3x is going to give us minus x minus 6 equals 0. So this is the quadratic equation that has roots x equals to 3 and minus 2. So let's try to look at another one. If we are given that x is equals to 7 and 8. So let's try to find the quadratic equations with these roots. So as usual, say x equals to 7 or x equals to 8. Equate them to 0. Bring 7 in and then 8 inside. So we have 8 x minus 7 equals 0, or x minus 8 equals 0. Then since the two of them are equals to 0, let's combine them together. We have x minus 7 and x minus 8 both equals 0. So we are using this bracket to open that, or you use this to open this. Anyhow, you will still get the same answer. So x times x will give us x squared. X times minus 8, that is minus 8x. Minus 7 times x, minus 7x. Minus 7 times minus 8, minus times minus, plus 7 times 8, that is going to give us 56 equals 0. So minus 8x minus 7x will give us minus 15x plus 56 equals 0. And this here is the quadratic equation that gives roots x equals 7 and 8. So let's try to find the equation whose roots are minus 1, 1 over 2, and 1 over 4. So let's start by saying let y equals minus 1, 1 over 2, or 1 over 4. So we take this one to its improper fraction. Y equals 2 times 1, that is 2 plus 1 minus 3 over 2, or 1 over 4. Don't forget the negative sign for any reason. So we have y equals minus 3 over 2. Equate the two of them to y, or y equals 1 over 4. So in order for us to solve this properly, we have to turn the two sides to fraction so as to be able for us to cross multiply. So we have 2 times y, which is 2y. 1 times minus 3, this is going to be minus 3, or 4 times y, 4y equals 1 times 1, 1. Then the next thing is to equate the two sides to 0. So it is going to give us 2y. When minus 3 comes in, it becomes positive equals 0, or 4y. When positive comes in, it becomes minus 1 equals 0. So we can bring the two together as 1 now. So we have 2y plus 3 and 4y minus 1 all equals 0. So we want to try and open this bracket by using the bracket 1 to multiply what is in the second bracket. So 2y times 4y is going to give us 8y squared. 2 times 4, 8, y times y, y squared. 2y times minus 1, that is going to give us minus 2y. plus 3 times 4y, that is going to give plus 12y plus 3 times minus 1. Plus times minus, minus 3 times 1, 3, all equals 0. So we are going to add or subtract the coefficients of y. The coefficients of x squared, y squared rather, it's only 1. So we are not adding it to anything or subtracting from anything. Minus 2y plus 12y is going to give us plus 10y minus 3 equals 0. So this is the required equation that will give us minus 1, 1 over 2, and 1 over 4 as its roots when it is solved quadratically. I am going to give you these two questions to be practiced on your own. Try to solve the questions and then leave your answers in the comment sections. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so, and also don't forget to send these videos to as many places and platforms as possible. Until I come your way again, I remain my humble self. Do have a blessed day.